Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you. It's for Sunday, the 14th of January, 27th day of TEVES. Here we go. Now we're going to finish off today the unit all about getting paid for work that you do on Shabbos, and then start some more Shabbos laws. So here goes. You can earn interest on funds that you have on the stock market that are earning interest for you on accounts or whatever, and all week long they generate interest for you. Some of it runs into Shabbos, and it's still considered permissible. One of the reasons that the rabbis consider it permissible is because it's always mushed together with a weekday. Like, for example, when your computer setup or whatever calculates your interest for Friday. So Friday goes from, midnight on Thursday night till midnight on Friday night, and that's not exactly all of Shabbos. It's got some weekday mixed up with it. So it's all considered like kind of swallowed together, and therefore collecting that interest would be okay. Same thing with whatever the computer does for you for Shabbos, because that's going to go from Friday night at midnight till Saturday night at midnight, which has some Shabbos and some weekday, some other stuff in it, so that makes it permissible. When a doctor comes and makes a Shabbos call to your house, that's not so common anymore, but if he did do that, he could be paid, and the reason is a little bit different this time, and that's because if doctors aren't paid for making that call for that important something that he had to come over to your house for Shabbos, then he wouldn't want to do it. So, and it's important for your health if it's something that needs a house call, so the rabbis permit that. Same thing with a midwife who has to help a lady give birth to her baby on Shabbos. She could be paid for what she does for that same kind of reason. A Moel who has to perform a bris on Shabbos can be paid for what he did for you on Shabbos, and that's because with his Moel skills, there's always some before and after. He probably had to visit the baby a couple days before Shabbos, and he will probably have to visit the baby a couple days after to make sure that everything's healing okay, and that makes it okay for him to get one lump sum. If a person is learning Mishnayos or something like that on Shabbos and getting paid for it, it's in memory of someone and they pay him to learn that, that's a good question. You should speak to a rabbi definitely about that. It can be viewed as prohibited by some people. Now we're moving on to preparations that are done. This is not about reward for Shabbos anymore, but preparations that somebody does for Shabbos to a weekday. Generally, it's considered a disgrace to prepare for Shabbos, on Shabbos, for a weekday. So, like, for example, if you have dirty dishes in your sink, you're not allowed to wash the dishes so that you won't have to do it after Shabbos. That's really preparing on Shabbos for your after Shabbos. If you're going to need those dishes on Shabbos, sure, you could wash them for the dishes you'll need and maybe some extras, because you don't know which one you'll need, but for that reason you'd be allowed to wash. There are some people that say that when dirty stuff in your kitchen makes you crazy during Shabbos and it ruins your Shabbos, you might be allowed to wash them because it's making you crazy on Shabbos. So you kind of need it for your Shabbos, but speak to your rabbi if you're going to rely on that kind of loophole. If you want to put your dirty pots, you want to have them soak during Shabbos so they'll be easier to wash after Shabbos. There were some rabbis who allowed that because they said, well, I just don't want the dishes to get ruined, and if the dirt just sits on them, then they're going to get ruined, and that's not really true according to all rabbis. So if you want to do that, it's kind of shaky. Really, you should be leaving your dishes to wash after Shabbos, and that's the general rule. If you have non-Jewish help and they want to, that's a whole other thing, and we're not discussing that right now. But for you, the Jewish person who's got some dirty dishes in your sink, they just generally should wait till after Shabbos if you don't need them on Shabbos. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.